And welcome back to Hoopsville, everybody. I'm Dave McHugh. Of course, as we said, we are pre-taping this show, and I'm now joined by Gary Stewart, head coach for Stevenson University men's basketball, and one of my cohorts here at the Hoopsville Classic. And obviously, we are here at Stevenson, the site of the Hoopsville Classic, which, if you're watching the show, actually takes place tomorrow. If you're watching this one, it should be aired on Thursday. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday is the dates. And, Coach, we start off with 5 big games, but first and foremost, let me ask you this. Last year was pretty successful. We certainly looked forward to this year. Did you expect it to be just as good a field as we got?
Well, going back to last year, it was incredible, the atmosphere, the kind of programs we were able to attract, and it was hard to imagine that it could get any better.
Yeah.
But we've extended this Classic to 10 teams, and the breadth of this field is extraordinary.
Yeah, we have 3 Elite 8 teams here, 5 who made the NCAA tournament. 2 of those Elite 8 teams, we'll have 2 matchups, I should say, amongst those Elite 8 teams. 3 are in the top 25, top 20 really. But then even everybody outside of that, I mean, the average win total from last year is 20 amongst everybody who is here. Even, a school like Laverne, which may not have the record to beat, as it were, incredible record, there's still a tough team who's growing. I mean, this is really a good testing ground for everybody.
Yeah, I really think that the quality of opponent that each institution is going to face this weekend will certainly help them moving forward. I think you'll get a lot of information about your team. There's a diverse style of play. You're going to see pressing. You're going to see zone. You're going to see teams that are going to pound it on the interior. You're going to see teams that want to play in the open court. It should be fun.
Yeah, we're going to see a whole range of games here, from the Northeast down to Birmingham, Southern out of the South, Trinity, Texas, of course. But that's the other thing, is we got some great coaches coming in here. Pat Cunningham, Mike DeWitt, obviously yourself. We have Chris Graves, who's really done well at Birmingham Southern. Obviously Jeff Brown at Middlebury, Chris Harney at St. Mary's, Marcus Kahn at Cabrini. These coaches have all done tremendous things, and then we have another group of coaches who seem to be taking that next step. Keystone, they're technically an interim head coach there, but he's a good fit for them as well.
Yeah, the coaching is as good as you're going to find. Very, very good game strategist. They prepare their teams exceedingly well. They have the whole gamut. They recruit well. They know how to run a program. They are really, really good in their communities. It's exciting not only to see the quality of student athletes that participate for the institutions, but also the type of coaches and the type of people that the tournament is able to identify.
Let's talk about the schedule. We have 5 games on Friday, starting with a noon tip. For those on the East Coast who love Laverne, you'll have to get up and have breakfast with Hoopsville Classic, or it'll be a brunch if you'd like. 9 a.m. game for them. It starts off with them, goes all the way through. You guys play Middlebury in the second to last game. Then we have the marquee game of St. Mary's versus Cabrini to finish it out. It's a lot of basketball, but it's going to be fun from tip-off to end. Then on Saturday, 3 more games. Then on Sunday, 2 more games, including Middlebury versus St. Mary's, which is another game everyone's kind of keying on. When you looked at the schedule, and when you looked at all these teams, just give everybody a bit of an idea of the challenges you saw trying to make the matchups and fit everybody where you wanted them.
Well, it was fun. I think the hard part is getting a quality field, and once we were able to do that, then the matchups came at you like a 3D movie, and we're really, really excited. The first game, as you said, tips off at noon, and I think from there on you just hang on to the handrail, enjoy it. It's going to be fast-paced, it's going to be wild, and it's going to be really, really entertaining.
We should point out a lot of people wanted to play Middlebury here. Middlebury didn't want to agree to play 6 games in one weekend. We probably would have scheduled them with 6 different opponents. When you look at this year and in the following years to come, obviously you guys here at Stevenson have made a commitment that this is the type of tournament you want to be hosting in your facility. When you look at what could happen down the road, how much was last year and now this year important to setting the groundwork?
Well, I think it was critical. The way this came together was an idea that I had, and I brought that to athletic director Brett Adams, and then we immediately reached out to you, and it's interesting now. It seems like a long time ago that we got a table at a restaurant and kind of got some scratch paper and had some ideas, and from there it's really grown. You've worked tirelessly to make this happen, and as have others, and it's really come together nicely.
Yeah, you're downplaying your role too. Pretty much the man behind everything right now, doing a lot of work. Of course, everybody here at Stevenson doing a lot of work. We appreciate their help with this. It is long hours for everybody, especially that Friday. I don't think they might want to come in on Saturday after we work them through on Friday. Let's talk quickly. We talk about this is also not just for teams that have won their conferences, but teams we think are up and coming. The Birmingham Southerns, which have been there and kind of fallen back and are coming back, et cetera. Keystone, for example, fits in that. Last year we had Franciscan. They got their first win this season. Now, I'd like to attribute that to the Hoopsville Classic last year, but that might be a stretch. But that's the kind of thing we're looking for, teams that are finally going to take that next evolutionary step. So when you look at the field ahead and you look at who you'd like to invite to this event, and I know we've already been in contact with a lot of teams, is it still, do you want to see mainly top 25 teams? Do you want to see a mix like we kind of have this year?
Well, Dave, we've been very fortunate and well received nationally. We have a lot of teams that have shown interest, and you and I really vet those teams, and we're looking for a variety of different programs that are nationally recognized. We're looking for programs that are ascending. We're looking for programs that have had coaches that are well established and have a tenure of success. We're also looking for programs that have young coaches that are up and coming. So all things are on the board. I think when we evaluate the Classic, we want to put the best field possible, and we will continue to look at the teams that have reached out to us, and as we reach out to others nationally, to bring the best field we possibly can get that particular year.
And one more shameless mention about the field. Last year had Catholic come in unranked, blitzkrieg's two teams, and comes out of it as a ranked opponent and make it to the second round of the NCAA tournament. Probably could have made it even further. Randolph-Macon comes in here, was probably, as everyone commented, the best 0-3 team when they left in the country. They make the NCAA tournament, make an incredible run. We had teams that made the NCAA tournament and were tested and were good, and a lot of people said this tournament would help them in March. You went through your entire season. How much did the Hoopsville Classic prepare you guys for the conference and beyond?
Well, I think it's a tremendous benefit. Anytime you see the quality of opponent that the Hoopsville Classic affords you, it's an opportunity to really get a great evaluation of your program to date, and that's critical. We play a conference opponent in the end of November, so we've got to be ready to go at that point, and this really helps us in getting film, trying to shore up some challenges and try to accentuate our strengths.
You'll play number 20 Middlebury on Friday. Game time for that is 6 o'clock Eastern, at least scheduled tip-off. Hopefully everything's going on schedule. And then on Saturday you'll take on Birmingham Southern. Tip-off for that is 5 o'clock. Quickly, for everybody who out there who wants to come to this, tickets are available at the door. $10 for the first day, $7 for the second, $3 for the $5 for the third day, but you can buy a whole pack for the whole weekend for $15, or we'll be streaming them online. How much do you want to see people show up for this, even if they may not have a vested interest in any of the teams who are here?
Well, I think it's a great insight into Division III basketball, and anybody that loves basketball should see this, because you're going to see some really good coaching. You're going to see some talented individuals, and you're going to see some excellent teams.
We mentioned the teams you're playing. Let's talk about your team. Picked by everybody in the conference to finish second. I won't ask you where you put yourself on the ballot, but finish second in the MAC Commonwealth, which is certainly one of the deeper conferences, at least in the Mid-Atlantic, if not on the East Coast for sure. ODAC certainly puts it up for debate. But when you look at this conference, and you mentioned you have a game in conference 3 days after you play Birmingham Southern. You're getting right into it, as most people are due to the basketball schedule. How important is it not only do well in the Classic, but do well on that Tuesday and really get off on the right foot?
Well, it's critical. If you have aspirations of playing in the postseason, you have to have sustained excellence, and that starts when when the gates open for your conference. And right away, we get the defending conference champions, so we're certainly going to have our hands full. I think that this tournament helps us with that because we're playing some of the best programs in the country in Birmingham Southern and Middlebury. So. It's going to be a tough road to hoe here for us in November, but we knew that going in, and hopefully we're better for it moving forward.
As you mentioned, also a top 25 team in Alvernia is who you'll be taking on. When you look at the finish of second in the preseason poll, most coaches I'll ask, okay, so what do you think of that? They'll downplay it. I'm going to turn that around on you. Why do you think your counterparts in the conference put you guys number 2?
Well, they're a bunch of nice guys, and I'm trying to figure that out too. Obviously, they haven't seen us practice, but we do have some good quality student athletes that are returning. Christian Roberts and Alfonso Hawkins are backcourt from last year. Couple that with a young man that was we felt the best sixth man in the conference. He garnered all conference recognition, and Stephon McCray. So those are a good conversation piece when you're evaluating Stevenson. It's a good place to start.
Now, this team will certainly try and take advantage of the home court, but how important is the road games in this conference?
Well, if you have an opportunity to play at the top of the conference, you have to win on the road in some very, very difficult venues against some very, very tough opponents. But that's the fun in it. There isn't an easy night in this conference. The parity, if you will, from top to bottom is extraordinary. Makes it gut-wrenching for a coach, but it's very, very exciting for the student athletes and for fans alike.
There's an element of having a deep conference that is a benefit, but it can also come and backfire on you. A lot of thought that the MAC could even earn 3 teams last year in the NCAA tournament. MAC Commonwealth, I should say. There's obviously the freedom. That was probably a little unrealistic. 2 was certainly the hopeful goal. But the depth can hurt you. Now, in the ODAC, they got a bunch of teams in because the depth helped them, but they also play a different kind of round-robin setup. But other conferences, CCIW, the depth has helped them in the past. I mean, the WIAC, even the NESCAC, the depth has helped. It seems like right now the depth of the MAC might be hurting a little bit. How does this conference rise up with its strength of schedule or with its perception to really kind of garner the respect it maybe is lacking that many would argue it needs?
Well, Dave, I think it's an emerging conference, and the reason why I say that is that with the addition of Stevenson and Hood, it's certainly changed the complexion of the conference. Historically, it's always been a very good conference. The thing that you have to keep in mind when looking at the conference in totality, you have to also consider nationally how good Division III basketball is. Anytime you have a conversation about postseason, you're going to have a conversation about the teams that didn't make it.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of quality teams that did not make the tournament last year. I, for one, thought that Albright was one of the better teams in the country.
Yeah, right on the
yep. And so I think that conversation is one that's taking place in a lot of different regions. We have to take care of our business as a conference in the postseason, and that means you've got to win. That's where your credibility comes, and the more that we win, the more esteemed our conference will be held.
Let's talk about the Mid-Atlantic region quickly. Obviously, this is your 3rd year at Stevenson, so you're still maybe getting used to the Mid-Atlantic region coming from the West Coast, but the Mid-Atlantic region has gone through ebbs and flows. There was a time where it was a really good region, then kind of fell in some rougher times in the last couple of years. Seems on paper, and as much as I've tried to downplay it, I'm starting to realize this region looks like it's starting to kind of come back near the top again, at least with the top teams. You have Scranton and Catholic and even Juniata coming out of the Landmark Conference. You've got Catholic, or St. Mary's, and Wesley coming out of the CAC, and you can loop in Christopher Newport one more year. They'll stay in the South region, then they'll move officially in. You've got in the MAC Commonwealth, Albright, Alvernia, Lebanon Valley has been traditionally a pretty good team. And the Centennial, as much as it's down, you still got the Franklin and Marshalls and the Dickinsons and other squads. How important is it that this region get stronger, especially at the top for the national perspective? And what does this region need to do to maybe finally convince everybody it's better basketball than they give them credit for?
Well, I think they need to come out and watch it. There are really, really good teams in this region, and always have been. And I'm not sure that the region's down. You know, I probably might not be the right person to ask historically, but I find the region to be very, very difficult. And you look at the people that man the bench of the respective institutions, and it's really, really incredible. You've got legendary figures that awards are named after. You've got Hall of Fame coaches, so people that know their way around and can navigate through some difficult conferences. Because if you look at the Commonwealth, or you look at the Freedom Conference and beyond, it is difficult January, it is difficult in February, and if you're lucky to survive coming out of your conference tournament, you are well tested.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, great talking with you. I certainly appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule ahead of the Hoopsville Classic and scouting and getting ready for everything else going on. Appreciate you taking the time to do so. As always, we give the ghost. Apparently there's a ghost in the building. The coach, the final word. Any final thoughts you want to share with those who may be tuning in?
Well, Dave, I just want to publicly thank you for all your hard work, and this is a culmination of a lot of people, as you well know. But you've been extraordinary in terms of your commitment to this tournament, and also speaking on behalf of every coach in Division III, what you've done to shed light to a wonderful, wonderful level of collegiate athletics has been very, very appreciated.
Well, thank you. I appreciate the kind words. Good luck at the Hoopsville Classic. We'll look forward to watching the team play, and obviously on into the MAC Commonwealth as well.
Thank you, Dave.
Coach Gary Stewart, he and I will be here at the Stevenson Olin Mills Gymnasium here at Stevenson here throughout the weekend. Make sure you catch the games online or come to see the games again. 5 games on Friday, 3 games on Saturday, 2 games on Sunday. It's must-watch viewing in Division III basketball. We'll be back with plenty more basketball ahead. We'll talk to a coach who upset the number 3 team in the country to start the season. We'll also talk to 2 women's players who actually transferred from Division I and see how they have made the transition to Division III basketball, and much more. You're watching Hoopsville, presented by D3Hoops.com and the National Association of Basketball Coaches. We'll be back right after this.